I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Actually, no, it's the opposite, which is exactly why I am making this video. So I read a lot of romance books, and the main thing that I've noticed, especially now, I think I saw a TikTok, or I don't know how I saw it, but it came to my attention that a lot of the time these characters are in their 20s and they're like in their early 20s, and there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, my 20s were fun. I had a lot of fun, but shockingly to some people, because some people say I look really young, I am not in my 20s anymore. So I find that I enjoy reading books that have characters more in their 30s. I still read some YA, I still read, again, characters in their 20s, but I prefer my characters to be in like their later 20s or in their 30s, because I think it just kind of relates a little bit more to me as a reader. So I don't know. That's probably what it is, but I wanted to go ahead and just kind of talk about briefly some of the books that I've read lately that have older characters, in case you're like me and you want to read about characters that are a little bit older and not like in college or like fresh out of college. So anyway, I have it written down right here because I will forget. But the first recommendation that I have for you is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. In this one, you have a male character. He's 32 years old. They never really specify her age, not that I remember, but I'm pretty sure she's maybe 30 or 29 years old, around that age. So again, these are older characters, and she is this pop star. So if you enjoyed Hannah Montana, this is the type of like book that I think you would really like. She's this pop star, she's huge, she's about to go on tour, and she's burnt out. So she decides to just drive away and go to Rome, Kentucky, and her car breaks down. And this stranger like taps on her window, asks her if she needs help. But you know, her being a woman who's stranded in the middle of nowhere, she's like, no, I'm okay. Like this guy who knows what he's trying to do, whatever. And it turns out that her car literally broke down in front of his house. So he's able to get like a woman to like vouch for him that he's like okay, he's not a creep, he's not a weirdo, and he ends up letting her stay at his home. She ends up finding out that he, like this really handsome stranger, has a pie shop that he runs, and she starts to get to know him, starts to kind of get to know the people in this town, and they don't treat her like a pop star, they treat her more like a human being. And so it's like this whole romance around it. I will also say, if you don't really like spice, like if there is definitely tension, but if you like fade to black or you don't like spice on page, then you would really enjoy this book. But I listened to it and I honestly really enjoyed it. Their banter, like the tension that you feel throughout the story, was really good. So I really enjoyed it. And then another one that I read was Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. These two characters are both in their 30s, and it has to do with a ghostwriter. So she is a ghostwriter. She works with a lot of different people. Some of them are like influencers, celebrities, etc., and helping them write books, right? And she actually comes from a book signing for this book, and she has a pretty bad experience because it's a book that she helped ghostwrite, and the author of this book literally does not remember who she is, and she's just like, what is my life? And you know, so she's kind of debating everything. She ends up at this bar, she's having a drink, and this guy sparks up conversation with her, and they end up just really connecting. They end up going out to go have some pizza, and then they end up hooking up. So they end up having this one night stand where he thinks he blew her mind, and she is like, wow, we had a lot of chemistry and our makeout session was fun, but everything else just went downhill. And you know, they kind of leave it as that. She's kind of like, I'm never gonna talk to this guy, you know, it is what it is. And she ends up getting this really good deal to work with this celebrity. He is an actor, he's like a C-list actor, and he's trying to bring like his story to light, not necessarily for publicity, but he is trying to put his story out there. And when she ends up showing up to this meeting to basically sign off on the deal, she ends up finding out that it's this guy that she had a really strong chemistry with, but just a really bad experience when it came to that one night stand. And as they start to work together, because they decide to just kind of forget about their one night stand, she ends up being really honest with him and telling him, listen, I actually did not enjoy our time together. And he is mortified, but he also feels really bad that he couldn't make her feel good. And he ends up enlisting her help to help him kind of learn how to approach a woman's body and stuff like that. And it was just really funny, really educational. I really liked the fact that he wasn't threatened by the fact that you know, he had things to learn and he was open to learning them with her. As obviously he's like learning, the spice is like a different type of spice, if that makes sense. So it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it and I recommend it. And then I have the Piper Rain series. So I have The One I Left Behind and The One I Stood Beside. These are both small town romances. They're very different. The first one, it has to do with like a second chance romance. They were high school sweethearts. They broke up. He went off to be a football star. Now that he's retiring, he's coming back to the town and they reconnect. And then in the second book, you have childhood friends to lovers. So these two have been best friends since they were literally, I think, 6 and 7 years old. Now they're both in their 30s. She's, I believe, 33 and he's 34. And she needs help with her family's ranch. Her dad has passed and she needs some help. And who steps in to help? The best friend. And the only way that he can help her is by marrying her. So you have this arranged marriage, childhood friends to lovers. She has to move in to sell the marriage. And she's also ready to kind of profess her love for him because she's like, listen, I'm 33. Like, I've wasted enough time being in love with my best friend. Like, it's either now or never. So it's a really good romance. And again, both of these books have characters that are in their 30s. So I really recommend it. There will be a third book that comes out, and this younger brother, I think he's 30 years old. So again, this whole series, if you like small town, perfect. And then I have one that I just absolutely love with my entire heart and soul and body, and that is Pen Pal by JT Geisinger. I will not talk about what this book is about. I will only say, look up your triggers and then go in blind. You are going to read this so fast. I just met JT Geisinger last week and she's such a sweetheart. She's so nice. I literally was like, I absolutely love this book. She signed it for me. In fact, let me go grab it. So here's the book. They just re-released it because she was indie published, but she ended up signing with Bramble. So this is the cover, first of all. A gorgeous cover. And then it has the sprayed edges and it says, I'll wait forever if I have to. You'll know when you read it. And here is where she signed, to Myra from JT Geisinger. She's such a sweetheart, but again, go in blind. Like, look up your triggers, go in blind. But honestly, this is such a quick read. Let me check exactly how many pages. 350 pages, and you will fly through it. This new one also has like a bonus chapter, but she actually during this meet and greet said that she did not cut anything out of this book. So that bonus chapter, she had to read it or she had to write it to include it in here because everything that she wrote is in this book. Such a good book. Such a good book. And again, these characters are in their 30s. And last but not least, I have a book that I literally just finished last night, and this is Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. He is in he's almost 40. She, I want to say, is 29. Yeah, I think she's 29 at this point. So yeah, she's not 30, but he is like 39 years old, 38. So they do have like an age gap, but this is a marriage and trouble / amnesia romance. I don't know if it's really marriage or trouble. They're literally 60 days away from their divorce being finalized when he has a really bad car accident. She shows up at the hospital because even though they're getting a divorce, I mean, she's still his wife and she still loves him. They just have to get a divorce. And when she shows up, he thinks it's 2017, but it's actually 2019. And he thinks that they are happily married and in love. And when he realizes that that is not the case, he is absolutely devastated, but he is also determined to get her back. So if you like Second Chance, you will like it. I will say, because I feel like I have to mention it because I've heard that some people really don't like that. It is a cheating book, but it's like a one-time that it happened. Not that there's an excuse. I do not condone cheating in real life or in fiction, and I normally wouldn't like it, but it's because it's an amnesia romance that I think I really enjoyed it. But I just read it. You'll understand what I mean. It's such a quick read. It's like 300 and something pages. So good. Really liked it. So these are all the books that I have for you if you're looking for characters that are slightly older. I'm gonna keep being on the hunt because honestly I really do like reading older characters. So if you like this video, let me know, and if you want to find out about any more, let me know and I will do some research and share it back with you. But thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.